Good evening, and welcome to the Dungeons and Dragons. Welcome to the dungeon. We're here. We did not forget anyone. We had some setup things we had to deal with from the one shot on Saturday. If you didn't get a chance to watch that, that is up on YouTube and your favorite podcast service. The Babo Natali Village, run by Oz and Gwenton. Good times, good times. So you don't want to miss that. So go over and check that out. Yes, it took
So
forever,
the focus
fanboy.
was not on gnomes; it was on murdering elves.
Yeah, yeah. It's always something like that. No, it was fun. It was fun. Hey, Half-Ass Blanco. Welcome to the dungeon. Half-Ass, I didn't get a chance to get with you today, but what's the beer of the week? I have no pictures, but we can at least talk about it. Don't forget to follow Half-Ass Beer Review on YouTube. Just hit like 400 followers, so well done.
Ah,
Thanks for that, fanboy. While he's getting that information, we are going to be speeding through because we are a little bit late and there's some things we want to get through. Scene. We want to take a moment to address some of the stuff that's going on with Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. We're going to throw Hasbro in there because they are a big part of this. And the current OGL license. If you're not familiar with what an open gaming license is, this was created in early 2000s when honestly Dungeons and Dragons was on its way out because they just couldn't get a whole lot of support. It was still viewed as like a nerd thing. It wasn't big in pop culture. So they created this open gaming license, and this allows other people like ourselves, Critical Role and Pathfinder and such, to create material that uses the Dungeons and Dragons wording, systems, and things, and without any charge or any kind of notations or things like that. It's critical to the success of Dungeons and Dragons in its environment, and with the recent one D&D move, they leaked. It wasn't a leak. They sent a contract to their people. Don't buy off that anyone ever said it was a leak. It wasn't a leak. It was an actual document that they sent over. And with that, they want to change it to OGL 1.1, which means that anyone making a substantial amount of money, which includes Pathfinder, Critical Role, Foundry, Roll20, all of these companies, they would have to report their profits to Hasbro and then pay a percentage of those profits to Hasbro. This was a blatant money grab. It's wrong. We do not support OGL 1.1. They have since very recently come out with a retraction or correction that was complete BS. For the time being, we have canceled our D&D Beyond subscriptions. We still use it as it's our tool now, but it will not renew when that comes up, and we'll hold that stance until they go back to the original OGL. That doesn't affect that. So that's our stance on it. So when we do giveaways, a lot of times we give away books on D&D Beyond. We will not be doing this until the OGL is back to its original state. So it's sad that we're here. We love the game. We want the game to continue to foster in its environment. And we don't need the suits at Hasbro, as Fanboy Tone said, telling us how we're going to do this just because they want more money. Fanboy says it's all the suits on Hasbro's side of it too. They should have split Wizards of the Coast off from the main publicly traded company. Again, Hasbro. Yes. And if you're a Black Series fan of the Star Wars figures, you fully understand this Hasbro stuff because they
Marvel
destroyed
Legends
those.
too.
Marvel Legends. Yep. Yeah. Right now, it's don't go see the movie. Don't buy Hasbro products. That's full blackout for Hasbro, which is unfortunate. So Can we still pirate the movie? I'm not going to endorse that, but a lot of people have asked, and there's been some discussions in Discord about where we stand with this. This is where we stand with it. We are standing with the community and everyone else. So, yeah, it's very unfortunate, and we're all very upset about it. But nerds unite! We can make a difference, and we saw that. There was such a drop in D&D Beyond subscriptions that they had to immediately put out a statement because they lost, I think, 75% of their revenue overnight.
Oof.
From that. Yeah. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. Yeah, Fanboy Tone said that the website crashed. There were so many cancellations that it crashed D&D Beyond. So,
did they ever name the dragon?
Which
dragon when you cancel?
What?
There was talk of naming that dragon when you cancel your subscription. They were going to name that dragon. I can't remember what the idea was behind that, but yeah, they were, because it was so notorious. You see that little dragon pop up, knowing that somebody canceled their sub.
Yeah, this isn't your typical like cancellation of a famous person or something like that. This is real corporate America trying to profit from innovation. Oh, by the way, they also, if you created material, like if we ever release stuff from campaign 1, they immediately own the rights to it. That was in OGL 1.1. So
Scoot.
Yeah.
Well, everything that you homebrewed in DDB
became theirs. Yeah.
Yep.
And
there is tons of homebrew on D&D Beyond.
Yes. Pages and pages and pages and pages. I know, because our Knoll is pretty highly rated there. Why don't you make a Knoll race instead of trying to take all our money, Hasbro? Anyways. No, they're too busy making an angel race. Anyways. Yeah, it's a good conversation. The D&D subreddit right now. If you're on social media anywhere, this is a very hot topic. So we want to give our stance on it because it matters. On to more entertaining things. It's getting closer. Oh, that's not the new one. I should get the new one up there. I didn't get the new one up there. Let me change that real quick. Bum, bum, bum. Just like
no,
that.
Matters.
There. Let me slide this over because this one's actually in like an HD format. Midland Mall Comic Con. We will get this there. We totally are prepared for tonight. That's coming up March 4th and 5th. We are officially taking early signups as of tonight. So we are having sessions. We'll have those posted in the Discord. So if you want to sign up for a particular time slot and you're going to be at Midland Mall Comic Con, then do that. Do that early. We are going to have a little bit of buffer before we get started, but there are fewer sessions this year, and the sessions are longer. So the trade-off is there's two trade-offs, and Mike can attest to this. One, this year we're going to get a bathroom break.
Yay!
Yay for us. The other one is we're going from 1 hour sessions to an hour and a half sessions. And I think we're allowing a max of 6 unless something happens.
Right.
So.
And just so everybody knows, if a session gets over early, we're doing discussions on D&D, whatever you have questions. We will be there to answer as best as we can.
And I just thought about it right now because I'm totally not ready for anything. Mike will be running a session and I'll be running a session. So we'll have 2 going each day. Mike's will be named The Fox in the Hen House. And mine is Escape from Heron's Castle. So 2 different ones. We're going to have a session starting at 11, 1, and 2:45 each day. And then each day we will have a prize drawing at the end of the day where you can win all sorts of goodies. You're not going to want to miss that. That's going to be good stuff. Zach Dynamite, you totally have to come and sit at the table. Blanco, come up. Everybody, come up.
Which campaign's better?
You know, it's funny you say that because we got those questions last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, which one's better? So we put we end up putting like a theme, like his was horror themed and mine was just more standard. And we've got a theme for this year as well. But yeah, we got the same thing. And how are we supposed to answer that question?
Like, well, the one you're running is better, of course.
Blanco says, like play. I already crested the days off. Even if I got to sleep in my car, I'm definitely going. Nice. Well, get your spot saved. I really think I'm telling you, when we went to Midland Mall last time, once people figured out where we were, which that's not gonna be a problem this time, we packed out like quick. We were writing lines on the back of paper and opening more sessions up. We're not going to be able to do that this time because of the extended length. So you're going to want to get your spot. You can sign up for both, but remember that people who have not played at all will always get the spot. So it may not be guaranteed if it's your second attempt. But those will be going up today on our Discord. One of you guys throw the Discord link up there. I saw it. The beer of the week is Abomination Brewing, Wandering into the Snow, DDH, double IPA with marshmallow and lactose.
Ooh. Oh, no, you lost me there.
Yeah. After being on a trip up in the northeast, man, those people.
Yeah, thanks for dropping in.
Dude, it was like a 2-hour trip one way because of the traffic and accidents.
Friday rush hour, it becomes pretty bad. It doubled to triple the length of the trip.
It absolutely did. And having to get up at 3:00 in the morning on Saturday to catch the flight.
I didn't realize you had to get up that early. That's brutal.
Yeah. Had it not been that, we would have just did it. But like, cause we really, really want to see that area. But
yeah.
So IPAs are great. No, Cherry, IPAs are not great.
I agree, Cherry.
And Zach Dynamite will sign up. Where do you sign up, Zach? We're going to have that. I'll get them posted to our Discord right after the show tonight. So we'll build a separate channel unless Jeremy, you're got admin things to create channels now. If you want to create a channel for
I'm an admin, let's go.
Midland Mall Comic Con.
Yeah, we need to have a separate one just for the Midland Mall.
Yeah. So we'll get a separate channel there, and you can go in there and during the session and say, I want to, and then, but we'll get the times and everything up there. So that's a big thing coming. We don't want you forgetting about that because it's coming up fast. Believe me. And we're going to have a lot of fun stuff this year, and then we're going to have more people this year. So it's going to have, there's going to be a lot of discussions. Everything's better this year with that. The Christmas shirt. I know it's late. I know it's still January. But
get it for next year.
As soon as February 1st hits, we will be pulling this down off the store. This is a fantastic shirt. I freaking love it. If you can't really see the artwork there, this is the artwork. So it's really fun. But pick that up in the merch store as it will be going away. We're pulling a Disney. Next, we're going to buy Banter and Babble and then change the complete format. That was not a Star Wars reference at all. Midland Mall comic channel already created. Yeah, Zach Dynamite. Exactly. So, in case I didn't say it, the Comic-Con is in Midland, Michigan. So, if you got the mitten, it's right here. I did a Michigander thing. Anyways.
Oh, you Michigan people in the mitten.
Yep. Cherry's going too. Cherry will be there. Cherry, are you bringing a horde of people again? Cherry brought like a whole posse last time. She travels in groups because she's cool like that. So
she said she was going to take pictures too this year. Is
yeah.
that still a thing?
Is that still a thing? You still taking pictures? Oh, good. We have a one-shot channel now.
I hear she's quite the photographer.
Oh, she's got cosplay as well. Okay. So much exciting stuff going on. We are back. I don't have any travel planned for a while, so we are here with you for the next few weeks at least until Midland Mall. So, the Monday of Midland Mall when we're coming back, we're not doing one that night, are we? Probably not.
I figured not.
Yeah, because I know I will be exhausted. I probably won't have much of a voice left. Neither will Mike. So
Oh yeah, Jess will not be letting me
yeah,
come home off of a trip and be like, I'm jumping on a computer.
yeah, that's fair. All right.
From one
Yeah,
thing to
she's bringing
another.
her stuff. So, finally, I'm almost there, so we can get started. Thanks to our new followers, Bald Ridge, Reb 1993, Chaotic Veto, and Big Boy Bob 2341. Thanks for those follows. We are almost there. We are 4 followers away from 200. And I know I said we're going to do a giveaway when we get there. We will figure it out. It'll probably be like a t-shirt or a hat or something from the merch store. Considering what's going on with D&D Beyond right now, we
I've
will
got a
not
BattleNet card. How about a BattleNet card?
Sure.
There we go. BattleNet card.
We may start doing some stuff like that. Maybe like a month or 3 months of Xbox Game Pass or something like that as well. So BattleNet, PlayStation, we can do that. All of us kind of spread spectrum over the system. So we will have some kind of thing after we hit that. Cherry's dressing as the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who to get people in for D&D. I don't know who that is, but I support your decision.
He has the best hair of the franchise.
Okay. I don't know anything about Doctor Who, which is strange.
He's a doctor too.
He is. But
Was that Matt Smith?
was it
No,
Matt Smith?
that's David Tennant. Matt Smith's 11.
By the way, Last of Us show started last night. So good. If you're a fan of this game series, well done. Well done, HBO. Anyways, we got to get started. Got a lot going on, and I'm hoping we can get off of this peninsula tonight. So,
Please. Careful what you wish for.
I mean, one way or the other, we're going to be off of this peninsula, whether it's willingly or unwillingly.
There you go. There you go. All right. So without further ado, let's get into the dungeon.
Wasn't one that I gave. That was something from that AI thing.
It was not. It was your image.
Oh,
Hey, man, I work with what I'm given.
oh.
All right. Where we left off. Yes. Where we left off last 2 weeks ago. The party fought vigorously to consume the fire as Jade and Marcelin exited the forest and were confronted by several patrons of the town who were very concerned at the fire as it was growing toward their crops and their town itself. After several conversations, Marcelin and Jade agree to assist the local blacksmith and leatherworker to build a bucket of sorts to help put out the fire. Jade, dealing with Gunnar, his mischievous pet dragon, in its young state, began singing and drawing attention to itself. And as the rest of the party came and immediately started helping with the fire, Jade, being super exhausted, begins to leave as he hears in the distance Gunnar yelling out his name. What would you like to do, everyone?
We're still fighting the fire, correct?
The fire has, I mean, it's starting to smolder out. You're not seeing, it's not nearly as bright as what is. It's not a big roaring fire. You've been working at it for several hours at this point. It is dying down, and the moon is shining bright. So with the moonlight and everything, and the burnt trees, no leaves, and it being fall time anyways, you just see the silhouette of this dragon-like creature out in the woods, yelling Jade's name as a group of city people that are in the woods looking for are rushing toward it.
So the whole island's not sinking.
No. What would you like to do?
I'm going to yell at Gunner to come here, to run to me.
Okay. Gunner hears you and begins running towards your direction. Oz, Bishop, Gwenton. Yes, I'll say you three because Marslin's still digging ditches Minecraft style. Thanks for that sub. You three, though, you see this shadowy, dark dragon-like creature, about the size of a pony. It's kind of charging forward toward you.
I'm going to dart after it and try and take it down.
Okay. Which, pulling the axes out?
This won't be axes. I mean, I'm pulling out the halberd, and then we're charging after it.
Okay. Bishop, what are you doing?
I'm following after Helga.
Okay. And Gwenton, what are you doing?
Did we hear Jade yell for it to come here?
You heard him, I would say with your passive perception, and Jay's not super far away because he moves pretty slow. You heard him yell Gunner, but Gunner come here, but you have no idea what that means to you.
Okay. I guess to follow suit, really. With Bishop and Helga. There's this random creature running at us.
Okay. Oz, as you approach, Gunner begins to slow because the city folk are crashing into him. Basically, they're right there coming in. Oz, what do you want to do?
I recognize the dragon, right?
It's pretty dark.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to attack the dragon.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Okay. So 11.
Jade, does that hit?
Actually, I wasn't even thinking about that. Just spent. Apologize for not being on there. He's got a AC of 16.
Okay. So you take a swipe at him, and he dodges out of the way. Gwenton.
We've got to take this one down.
I'm going to try to grapple it to stop it from running any further into the village.
All right. Jade, make the strength check for Gunner, and Gwenton, make a strength check.
I failed a nat one.
Oh.
So let's see his strength.
Tail whips you around.
That's my job.
Right?
Since I don't have, how would I do that with him?
What's his strength modifier? Does he have a +1 to strength? Because basically it's D20.
All it's giving me is his AC saving throw.
That's in there. His strength is +3, so just roll a straight D20 and add 3.
Oh, and so is mine's a +3, so I'll just hit that. 9.
Both of you not great. So Gwenton, you go in to tackle, and he just leaps like over the top of you as you crash like and slide
So
underneath.
he jumps
them.
like 2 feet in the sky?
Yeah, it's just like and he's over top of you. And Bishop, you're right there. What do you want to do?
I am trying to keep the villagers that are there back.
Okay.
So I'm trying to like crowd control these villagers so they don't get hurt. Please step back.
Make a persuasion check.
Doop, 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 doop.
This should be good.
Not my best. Doop, doop, doop. That's nat one. Doop, 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 doop.
All right. They just shove right past you. Like they don't care. Are you making any effort to try to stop them?
No, I'm not physically trying to stop them. I'm trying to be like the barrier here, like riot police trying to push them back, but apparently they're all running right past me.
Okay, the first one misses, the second one misses, the third one misses, fourth one misses. Okay. All rolls crappy tonight. All right, basically top of the round, Oz, you're there. Gunnar has kind of stopped now because all this is going on, and after leaping over Gwenton, he's just kind of looking around.
Can I yell at him again to come?
Yeah.
Yes. Come to me now, and I'll be yelling at the other, at Oz and all them guys. Don't hurt him. Yelling at the top of my lungs not to hurt him.
Oz, Bishop, Gwenton, make a perception check. Marsland, make a perception check with disadvantage.
7.
You did not hear him.
Surprise.
Bishop did hear him.
15.
Wow. Marsland, you heard him.
What was that?
Of course, you're kind of far away from what's going on.
Can I see what's
Oz,
going on?
No. Oz, what's your perception?
18. Sorry, I thought I said that, but it was
you heard it. You heard that as well. All right, Oz, you're up. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna try and grapple him then. I mean, hearing that, he says don't hurt him, so I'm gonna grapple him.
Okay, strength versus strength.
$17.
18.
I didn't see your roll come up, Oz.
It's there. I'm not hiding or anything. How do you know if you're hiding anything?
At the top of the game log, it'll say "self" or "everyone."
Game log. Messages.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking
I thought you had a roll earlier.
I didn't see that earlier. When you're in the game log, I'm not in the game log anymore. Click on game log, and then it's send a default. Everybody, self dungeon master.
Notifications. But what's that? No, gross. I don't want that. Gross.
Okay, well, you figure that out. You fail at it.
Yeah.
Quentin, what are you going to do?
There it is.
I'm gonna try to get back up to my feet and also try to grapple him again because I heard nothing.
Okay, so you run forward.
Another nat 1.
Dang.
Wow, this is ridiculous.
I had 4
Good
of
for
them
me.
yesterday at the one shot,
like
in a row.
All right, so you just fall down onto the
I'm
ground.
just gonna lay there now.
Are they cranking the nat 1s on people that unsubbed?
Maybe. Bishop, what do you want to do?
Okay. I will turn around and please, for your own safety, stay away. We do not want anyone hurt. Another persuasion.
Okay, yeah.
That's a 10.
Yeah, nope. All right. First one. All right. He hits. Second one. Hits. Third one. Crits. Fourth one. Misses. All right. What's the crit card?
Its speed is reduced by half for 1d4 rounds.
Okay. Four rounds. And Gunner takes 26 points of piercing damage.
He's dead.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. So Gunner leaps forward as the city people turn and they thrust their weapons into him. You hear him howl out in pain as he yells, "Jade!" And then
And I just scream.
you hear Jade start screaming, and the weird thing is the body, as it falls over, it just disappears. It goes, it just turns into like a mist. The townsfolk are looking around. They're kind of puzzled at what just happened, and what do you all want to do from here?
Where the hell did that dragon just go? Or that creature?
I'll start walking to where Gunner disappeared.
Okay, it's going to take you a bit. You're slow.
Please, everyone, calm yourselves. We need to figure out what's going on.
What the hell was that? What happened to it? I know we stabbed it, but where did it go? And who was he going toward? Who's this Jade?
Am I there yet?
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
Because you were walking away from the group, and then this
Right.
happened, so you're a little further
There was
away.
a pause. I didn't know if I was.
Yeah.
That was my cue.
But the rest of you, Marslin, I'm guessing you're heading toward the commotion.
Is it enough commotion to draw my attention like that?
You heard him say that, so it's your call whether you just want to keep Minecrafting it down the tree line.
How much is the fire? Is it worth still blocking off the fire?
The fire is pretty much gone out in this area, and the ground is severely doused with water.
Okay, if I feel like the fire is in a safe spot, then I will head towards the commotion.
Okay, so it's going to take you a little bit as well. All right,
right.
The rest of you, what are you doing?
Bishop doesn't lie, so that is a member of our party currently.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
I
the only
do
Jade I
not-
know.
Know what is going on.
Why would this young dragon creature be yelling for a member of your party?
I just explained. I do not know.
Dwarf, what about you? Do you know?
I have no idea at all. We need to find out from Jade.
Woman, do you know?
I am just as curious as you all. Jade,
Oh, your voice
you
is
have
odd for a woman. Sorry, I was taken aback.
your appearance is odd for a human. Anyways,
That's true. Mother didn't like me as well as the others.
Jade, I believe you have an explanation.
Jade, you see Jade kind of limping his way up.
He was my pet, and you guys killed him.
Where the hell did you get a pet dragon?
I summoned him.
Excuse me?
I didn't stutter, sir. I summoned him.
So you're the one responsible for this fire that's threatening our village?
I'd like
Not
to.
per se, no. He started it. He's young. He's just a tiny dragon. He's learning.
But you summoned
It
him.
was I was trying to start a fire. We were in the middle of the woods. It was dark.
Oh,
I
you
had no
started a
conditions.
fire.
So I asked him if he could start my campfire, and he got carried away. I am sorry.
Never
But
learned to
that's
rub
what-
two sticks together.
I didn't have all night. It was just easy. Spit a little fire, make a campfire. I didn't know he was going to go raging tornado with the fireball. I didn't know what his expertise was. I found out the hard way.
Well, I'm afraid we're going to have to take you in.
Why?
You started this fire.
Was part of it, yes.
Well,
You endangered this village, Jade. There are repercussions for such actions. We ran into some forest folk that weren't too excited about it either.
They almost didn't give us part of the cure that we were trying to find for the ingredients because of this forest fire.
And I understand that.
Marceline, you walk up at this point.
I'm new to having a pet. Never had a pet before. It was one of my first times. Well, second time because Oz killed him the first time. But I was just getting to know him and started the fire. It was so out of control I couldn't do anything with it. I just had to pick Marceline up and start running.
Oh, Jade, have you admitted to what happened? I'm very proud of you.
I was not trying to lie. I'm telling you, I didn't answer their questions was because I felt it was more important to save the village and the people. I didn't have no plans at all about lying to anybody. I just thought there was more important things to worry about than who started the fire.
Oh, it's important. You'll see. And they walk toward you.
Don't have to hurt me. I'll go willingly.
Did any of the rest of you have anything to do with this?
They did not. They didn't know about my pet.
I believe it was already mentioned that we tried to kill the dragon before.
We did not know you were controlling it at that point either.
Sounds like you need to have new friends. Come on, Jade. We all know your name now.
Let's go. I will take whatever punishment there is.
And two of the four soldier-like townspeople take a hold of Jade on each arm and help him walk, and they begin walking toward the town.
Where do you plan on taking him exactly?
I believe they'll probably lock him up. Trials are quick here. I'd imagine they'll want to have a trial in the morning.
Is it a trial where the townspeople vote? Is it a single judge that makes the decision?
The judge will make the decision, but the people are a factor.
Are
It'll
we
be
allowed
public.
to attend?
It is public.
Well, I do think he's being honest when he says that it was not intentional.
His peers will make that decision.
Very well.
I'd imagine it'll probably be right before midday.
What time is it right now?
It's night, midnight,
Okay.
1.
I'll just turn and look at the guys. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to drag you into this. I apologize for
I mean,
any harm or anything that's come to you. That was not my intention.
you apologize for dragging us into this?
Oh.
I got it.
It's getting worse.
Sorry, I had to.
Well,
Is there anything else we can do to help right now?
they take a look around, look up in the sky. Looks like rain's coming. That'll help, but for the time being, I think we're going to be okay. We appreciate your help.
Glad we were able to help at all.
Me too. There for a while, I thought we were going to have to move. I sure wouldn't want to move back to Candlekeep.
What do you have against Kando's Keep?
City folk just don't get it.
Get what exactly? I'm new to Kando's Keep, so please do enlighten me.
There's a lot of peace living away from town that size.
My short
I
time there
would
didn't.
agree. I like the quiet life.
It's nice. But I must be getting off to bed myself. My wife will be worried.
Yes,
Good
I'm
evening.
quite tired as well. Seems like the fire is mostly contained.
Mostly. They nod at you and they kind of wipe their blades off at on their pants and start walking towards town.
By the way, we have his personal belongings. We were carrying them to help get him here quicker. Can we keep what is left on him until the trial? Just so we know everything is all in the same place.
I don't care.
I'll hand all that stuff to him.
Oh, you're gone.
Oh, I didn't know.
So Jade, they take you to inside one of the buildings in town, and you can see they've got some cells there, and they open it up and escort you inside, closing it behind you. Your trial will probably be in the morning. Best get some rest.
Very well.
Any kind of meal you really would like to eat for breakfast? Maybe something you really like?
Why is that a hint that that's going to be my last meal?
Just a question.
Just whatever you decide to have, whatever's around us, I'll be fine with that.
Fair enough. Sleep well. And he leaves that area. Are you doing anything?
I'm probably going to sit and meditate, try and talk to Sylvanas.
Okay. The rest of you, what are you doing?
This is an interesting turn of events.
I think we're missing the forest for the trees, and I'm gonna come over there and poke Marsland. How are you still alive?
I do ask that of myself a little bit. I woke up in the middle of all of this to his dragon wanting to eat me, it seemed. Can't tell if it's friendly or not.
You woke up?
Yes. Woke up on our travel back, and this dragon was leaning over me, licking its lips. It's like it gave me a right old fright until I realized that it was actually with Jade.
Do you think that the dragon brought you back to life?
That dragon? No, I don't think that dragon has any
Helga.
such power as that.
Helga, it was clearly True Silver. She answered our prayers.
Yes. You were definitely deceased when I examined you.
Could the dragon come from True Silver?
She's not known for dragons.
I'm certain that the dragon has a part of this.
I mean, I don't know the dragon has anything with him come back to life.
Your god, True Silver. What does True Silver all about anyway?
Okay. I remember. Sorry, if I remember right, it was about healing and stuff like that. I haven't looked it up since I made it. Hey, God.
Loading True Silver protocol.
I know, right? I gotta look it up to see what it was again.
I am happy that you are no longer deceased.
As am I.
Oh, it's definitely brightened my day. I don't, when you become deceased, apparently, as you say, you don't really notice it at first. It's very strange.
I'm gonna come over there and sniff him. You don't
What are
smell
you
like
doing?
You don't smell like a dead person.
Well, I didn't begin to rot, surely.
It's been several days.
Well, I have been alive for a couple of days now.
Oh, by the way, you probably need this. And then
Okay.
I'll reach into my bag and then I'll give him his stuff back.
Oh, I'm gonna check it all carefully, make sure everything's there.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah, it's all there.
Mars, we do owe you one healing potion.
Did you go through my bag and take my healing potion?
We needed a vial to bring the sap back that's needed for the cure for Hugh and Luna.
I suppose that is okay, but still very rude to root through a dead man's belongings.
I'm very sorry.
Understandable. They would not let me use my water skin.
We asked you, but you didn't say anything, so we just took it.
Was that supposed to be a joke?
No, I was serious. Do you mind if I take this, Marslet? Okay, must be fine.
Is he a joke? Is he selling a joke? I'm trying to calibrate what you people call a joke, and this is making it seem like one.
That was a joke.
Oh, thank you for being honest.
We do need to go to the temple, church.
Can we just pretend we don't know Jade?
They know he came here with us.
Can we still pretend we don't know Jade?
We can't just pretend we don't know him.
Say he was just coming along for the ride. We didn't have any idea that he could summon dragons and resurrect blue people and set fire to entire forests.
Are you
Well, that's
suggesting
not all a lie. We did not know he could summon a dragon. That was not a topic that was brought up.
I certainly didn't check that box when we were filling out our application. Can you summon dragons? No.
the dragon is an interesting one? It seems to have a will of its own.
That's not exactly comforting. If Jade doesn't control it, and it can do whatever it wants, that is bad. That is probably how this fire started.
I was going to say that might be how you get into hot water or hot wood. Ha! That was funny, wasn't it?
Only mildly, because you burn wood to create fire to keep you warm.
Again, I
If I
suggest
didn't hear the sound come out of your mouth, I wouldn't have even recognized those facial expressions as a laugh.
Do you not see the creases in my eyes when I smile?
No,
Interesting.
there's not a wrinkle on you.
Bishop gets right down in your face. I see no movement.
I was known to be one of the more expressive ones in my hometown, too. I guess you just are not accustomed to the finer details.
Quentin, we need to get to the temple and talk to Priest more.
Yes, lead the way. You guys have most of the ingredients, and you are the one who spoke with the priest earlier. I imagine he's going to be
suggest-
up at this time of night still.
I pretty much believe the entire village is awake at this point. I do suggest if any of you need rest to go do so now.
I will go after we've talked to the priest.
And Bishop heads towards the temple.
And I will follow him.
Okay. Oz, Marsland.
I'll look around and I'll give Marshall a little poke again. And really is you.
I should ask the same of you, no?
I didn't die.
Why, how do I know that you aren't pulling off some dark magic here and you've taken over the body of somebody else?
Well, then poke me. Right here.
What will that tell me?
I don't know. Watch. It tells me you're alive, and I'll poke him again.
Give him a weird look. If you insist. And I poke him back.
Ow!
Yes, that would...
See?
It would
I'm
appear that you
alive.
are alive.
Yes.
I still don't know what this tells me.
That I'm alive.
But that doesn't tell me that you haven't taken the body of somebody else.
Wait, is that a possibility?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
Oh,
That is
well,
what somebody who's trying to hide their dark magic might say.
we don't know what to say about that, Marslin. If I become aware of dark magic possessing my body, I will tell you. And then we can experiment again if poking will bring to light.
Perhaps we should set up a schedule of poking to make sure that nothing changes.
Yes, scheduled poking.
Yes.
What are you
Yes.
poking? Are you scheduled poking?
Just do it already. Get a room.
Would you like to go to the inn?
Marslin, I'm going to put my arm around him. And I'm just saying, I'm just glad to have you around again.
What is this gesture you were doing?
I call it friendship.
Friendship. This feels nice. I like this.
Good,
Put my arm around him too.
good. Let's go to the temple.
Let's.
The 30 minutes of flirtation.
All right, so y'all are going to the temple?
Yes.
Okay. Bishop and Gwynton, you arrive first with Marsland and Oz trailing not far behind you. The lights that you can see through the windows that are around the outside it looks dark inside, for sure. What do you want to do?
The door's locked.
You can try to open them. If you do, yes, they are locked.
Then I will loudly knock on the doors.
Echoes
Careful,
through
Bishop. We don't want to knock the
streets.
door off the hinges.
After a few moments, you can hear the lock begin to be fiddled with, and the priest opens the door. Yes.
We know it is late, but we've been helping the village put out some fires. We are back. We have the ingredients you requested.
Ingredients. Oh! Yes. I didn't think you would return. So you have the egg, the mushrooms, the sap?
We have all three.
Yes, let me... you have them on you here?
I pull the eggs out of my pouch.
Ah. Well done.
I believe Quentin has the sap and the mushrooms.
I have the shrooms?
Nobody has them, you gotta go back.
No, they're on Jade's pouch, so I guess technically I would do it because I have Jade, or I have Jade stuff. So, I'll pull out the sap and I'll dig through what I took from Jade to look for the mushrooms.
Well, this is fantastic news. It is late, and I will need time to prepare the materials. I need to get the mushrooms powdered and the sap and egg ready for the process. I'm sure sometime in the afternoon tomorrow I may be ready.
If you need assistance, I can make myself available.
Thank you for your help, but I should be fine.
Insight.
Go ahead.
Son of a bitch.
Seems normal.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
All right. There are other matters for us to attend to.
Well, hopefully it's sleeping. And you see him holding the egg. He brings the eggs, he sets them down inside because they're heavy and pretty decent size, and takes everything else. Thank you. This will help.
Anything to help rid people of this nasty disease.
I agree.
The boy is still doing well. Yes?
I haven't seen him, but I'm sure at this hour he's in bed.
I am putting a lot of what you all call faith in this. I hope it turns out.
It will turn out, my friend.
And I turn and walk away.
Okay. Whatever the rest of you doing.
I think it's time to head to an inn. I need to sleep.
Okay.
I agree. I am quite tired.
As we walk back to the inn, we really do need to discuss what is going to happen in the morning. It seems that Jade is being careless and has cost us some trust with these villagers.
That is true. I'm surprised he even... Well, the priest doesn't know about that Jay's under the fire. But
In the morning, Everyone will know.
in the morning, everyone's gonna know, and it's possible that he's not gonna create the cure for us anymore.
Just food for thought.
What's your thought on this, Marslin?
I think we should all
Those
get.
people.
What was that?
I was asked if we lost everybody.
Oh. We should all get a night's rest and let this sit for a little bit and not act too harshly.
Oh, I think I'm going to act rashly. I'm fine with leaving once we have the cure. All in favor? Aye.
I will need to get back to Luna as quickly as possible.
And I do need to get back to Hugh as quickly as possible. We spent extra days here, so I don't know how he's doing over there.
I have no allegiance to Jade, and from his actions in the forest, he doesn't have any allegiance to us either.
Maybe they'll let us talk to him in the morning. But as Marvin said, I do think we should rest on it.
Fine. In the morning, then.
Okay. For sake of speed, you all get a room. Marslin, you already have a room. You just go to your room.
I'll do that.
Bishop, are you even getting a room, or are you just like
I'm
powering
gonna
down?
be
And...
outside. Yeah,
Okay.
You could be a gargoyle.
outside the inn.
Okay. Does anyone want to do anything over the course of the night? It's extremely late at this point.
I mean, like 2 nat ones in a row. Bonk.
Okay. The night passes.
Can I do something?
Yeah, sure.
AFK for a minute.
I'm going to say a little prayer to True Silver.
Okay.
I convert him. Let's go.
So True Silver, if you are there and that was your doing, thank you. Yes, that is all. Then I'm just gonna roll over and go to bed.
All right. You rest into the evening, and it's a deep sleep that you all enter into. You're very tired. Those that have exhaustion, you get 1 rank back. So that's good. Jade, it's still a long road for you. You got
Few more sleeps.
yeah. The sound of thunder gently rolls over the town as storm clouds move in and rain begins to pour down. And the sound of a tin roof comes from the front of the building as the water tinks against Bishop's metal exterior. Bishop, as the morning light shines over the horizon, you look down as there's a tinkling sound lower on your body to see a dog walking by and using the restroom on you, and you can the pee just tinkles off of your metal and runs down, and as you shift a bit, it just looks up at you.
Ooh.
And it just takes off running. The rest of you awaken. We'll start with the inn folks. What do you want to do?
Well, since I only need 4 hours of sleep,
Okay.
I'm good. I'm gonna go to the prison.
Okay. You walk out and you see Bishop just kind of.
Where are you going? Actually,
Going
I'd still
to go-
be. I'd be. I got.
You'd be
I need
still
6, so
asleep.
I'd still be.
Yeah.
I can see you.
You just
I
don't
know
react.
you're leaving, but I don't react.
All right, you walk past and you make some assumptions as to where. Let's do an intelligence check because you've not been to the prison, so you don't know where it's at per se.
Okay.
It's a small village.
Intelligence check. That's 21.
Okay. You're able to ascertain where this place is by the bars on the outside of the windows, I guess.
Dead giveaway.
You walk in. Hold on there. Where are you headed?
I have come to see Jade.
We don't typically offer conjugal visits this time of night.
Excuse me? And I'll look down. Oh, no, nothing of the sort.
I'm sorry, we don't let folks come in and just talk to our prisoners. What's your business here?
Would like to talk with our companion who traveled with us from Candor's Keep. That is all.
I see.
He is in prison, and I'd kind of like to know a little bit of his intent.
You happen to know what time it is?
And I'll look up. I was like, it's very late in the evening. Early in the morning, depending on your perspective.
Yeah. Unusual hour to be requesting a chat with a prisoner, don't you think?
I couldn't sleep. The questions I have at the tip of my tongue kept me up, and I would like answers.
I mean, if you need help going to sleep. And he flashes you a sly grin.
May I go see Jade, please?
Anyway.
I guess, but I'll be right there with you. No funny business. He stands up and grabs a significant crossbow.
Compensating for something.
All right. And he takes you back there, and you walk back into the cell area. You see Jade curled up on the stone floor, sleeping.
Jade,
Yeah?
wish to speak with you.
Is that you, Oz?
You can see me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was dark. I apologize. Because it was in the middle of the night.
Yes, this is Helga.
What can I do you for?
I'm a little concerned about you, Jade.
Also,
Look where you're at.
I see that I've gotten myself in a small predicament.
Yes. Yes, you did. I'm pushing for us to leave you here to whatever comes about from this trial.
Well, I've made some unfortunate decisions that have bigger consequences than I had anticipated. I meant no harm to anybody, really. Nobody in the village or anybody in the group. It was just an unfortunate accident. I was excited to be able to summon my pet for the very first time, and I guess I was just kind of caught up in the moment. I have no ill intentions of hurting anybody or setting the forest on fire. He's young, and I did not know what his limits were. I'm learning just as much as he's learning. And I'm sorry, I didn't want anybody to get hurt.
A lot has transpired in that forest.
I imagine
I don't trust you.
I can understand that. Trust is earned, not expected. From a young age.
You've never summoned that dragon before.
Nope, not until we were with the dragon in the cave, because I thought we could use some help. I really should have thought things through and let you guys know that I could do that. I could see how it would startle everybody looking at one dragon and looking and seeing there's another one right next to you. I can see how that looks, but that was my first time I had ever summoned him.
When we decided to take on this endeavor, we need to have each other's back. Life, our life, my life depends on this. Which means I need to trust you, and it means you need to communicate with me.
I can do that. I would do anything I can to earn your trust.
Why?
I have nobody here. I don't know anybody, so my goals are just as much yours as they are mine. I don't know if this disease has hit any of my people yet, but by the way we're going, it will eventually. And I'm going to need to find a cure just like you.
Maybe. We'll see how the trial goes. And we'll see what the party thinks. You need to communicate with us. My life depends on it. Their lives depend on it. Yours does.
And I'm already racked with guilt thinking that, knowing that I let Marsland die right next to me again, making the wrong choices, seeing the bigger picture, but not really, seeing what the small things are that have big impacts. That's why I said I would be happy to carry him back to the village, because I felt it was more of my responsibility.
It is so. It is somewhat redeeming. All right, you get some rest.
Thank you for coming to see me. That really means a lot to me. And if I do live through this, I will make every effort I can to show you that I'm worthy to be with you.
Fair enough.
I think we've had about enough chatting for tonight.
Thank you, Godsman. Please don't point that at me. I'm not going to do anything.
Can't be too careful. This way.
I'll get in front of him, and I'll make sure to strut in front of him.
Swing that outside to side.
I hate watching you come in, but I love watching you walk out.
Oh, God.
I'll turn
And
back
we're canceled.
around. I'll keep walking. I could get used to this.
You leave the building. It's very early dawn. The sun's just cracking over the horizon.
I'm just gonna head back to the inn.
Okay.
And I'll sit at the table and wait for everyone to get down. I didn't see the dog or anything.
Okay. Bishop, back to you. You scare the dog away. What do you want to do?
I think you're muted.
I saw Helga leave.
You would have saw him come back in as well.
Yeah. I'm going to sit there for a little bit and try to process some memories.
Okay.
And if I like half an hour, and then I'll make my way inside.
Okay. Give me an intelligence check. What kind of memories are you trying to process?
I'm just thinking of the vision I had.
Okay. You're having a hard time. Like, you know what the vision you saw was real. It actually happened. You're having a hard time understanding why or anything else beyond what happened or anything further in that timeline.
Okay.
All right.
Get up and walk inside.
Okay. Marslin and Gwenton. It's morning time. What do you want to do?
We'll wake up and go on down and kind of mull around until I see somebody else.
Okay. When you walk out, you see Helga just sitting at one of the tables.
Good morning, Helga. You look like you've been up for a little bit now.
We can't hear
muted.
you.
How does one look like when they've been up for a bit?
Usually when you wake up, you look a little, I don't know, groggy. Like your body is still waking up.
Comb my luscious locks. I'll twist my hair around.
Oh, that's what we're calling it now. And I'll reach out and poke him.
Yes, I'm still alive.
Yes, you still passed the test. Very good.
Yes. No dark magic here.
I'm gonna walk down.
Shall we have some food? Ah, Gwenton.
So you guys are all awake now?
Yeah, everybody's there now.
Is Bishop inside?
Yep.
Everyone's there.
Well, Gwenton.
What's up, Helga?
What do we do?
What do we do about Jade? Or about hopefully the cure? The town?
We're just gonna go wait in the temple and stare at him?
It didn't seem like you really wanted us there.
I mean, did anyone have
I
any calls?
find that odd as well.
I agree. You would have thought that having help would have been wanted to make sure that it got done quicker.
We all heard the priest say, "I didn't think you'd make it back," right?
Yep. He didn't seem like he even remembered who we were at first.
Well, it was like 2:00 in the morning.
It's true. Do we remember where the child is at? I mean, was the child at the temple when we saw him? The one who was cured?
Yeah, his family came in for services.
Oh, okay. So we don't know where he lives or anything.
No. Which brings up the question of how he handled and got the ingredients to begin with. I'm pretty sure he didn't ask villagers to undertake what we went through.
Yeah, I think the villagers would have been okay getting the sap and maybe the mushrooms, but highly unlikely they were able to get the eggs with any relative ease. But he did. Was that there when he said he sent like others on this multiple times and sometimes they don't come back?
No, that was just Helga and Bishop.
Okay. But the other question comes into play is how does he know these are only ingredients you need for the cure, unless he knows what the other ones are and he doesn't want to tell anybody.
I have a feeling he is keeping things to himself.
I can understand wanting to keep things to yourself, but when there's a plague targeting mostly the children around this island, why wouldn't he just put the cure out there for the church to start using? Unless it has some unethical practices to it.
Is stealing from a dragon considered ethical? I'm not sure on that one.
Technically, I would consider not, but we didn't kill it.
We did not kill it, but I'm sure that dragon was not happy to have one of its.
Three of its eggs, two stolen, one smashed.
Exactly, yes.
Does anybody care what the dragon thinks and what's ethical when there's a dragon egg there and I want it?
Would you care if the dragon cares about your feelings if it comes to light you on fire?
I would fight it. It is in the
Interesting.
way.
Fight fire with fire, I suppose.
That is why I left it alive. It can have more eggs.
Bishop, you confuse me. Because now he's just it now knows us and can hunt us down.
If the eggs are part of this cure, and the cure has already been used, then we are not the only things on its mind.
True.
Okay, you can use the same mentality for chickens. You let them lay eggs, so you have eggs for breakfast. You don't just kill a chicken to eat the chicken.
Are we going to start a dragon farm?
I don't think that's a very wise idea given recent events.
Would it be called a dragon coop? Is the mountain called a dragon coop?
Hey, maybe if
Guessing it.
adventure doesn't work out, that's something we could try doing.
Have you
I think I would
ever
rather
tried
adventure.
milking a dragon?
I've heard it's quite terrible.
Very grumpy.
Well, I think we're assuming that all dragons like the same thing. Maybe some dragons don't mind it.
I will not be asking one.
Questions that would not be inquired about. What time of day is it?
I mean, it's mid-morning at this point. You went to bed late, so I'd say you woke up later.
Yeah.
We have Jade's trial at noon, and we have to meet with the priest in the afternoon. That is today's event, no?
Correct.
Seems like it.
Is there anything we can do in the meantime? Do we know how we're going to get off of this place? Do we know when the next ship is?
We do not. We could go down and find out when their next ship leaves back to Candor's Keep.
that might be a good thing. Get our affairs in order, in case we really need to get out of here.
What if what if that priest makes off with the ingredients? About a
That'd be-
smart elf.
That'd be
But-
very unpriest-like of them.
He did send us out to die.
Technically, he did not want us to go, but he wasn't going to get anyone else involved. If we wanted the cure, we were to procure these items ourselves.
Fine.
Luckily, we did succeed in dying, I must say.
Did you succeed? You're standing right here.
Temporarily succeeded. Anyway,
Temporarily, are you going to die again?
I'm sure one day. Are you not?
May I examine you?
Are you going to poke me?
With a
If
steak.
you would like me to.
I did not know that was a service you offered, but no, please, I would be okay if you did not.
I'm just gonna do a medicine check. I want to look at him, look him over,
Okay.
without touching.
From the best that you can tell, he's unscathed and unmarked.
These are ridiculous. These are things I have +6 in, and I'm not even getting a 10, or I'm just getting a 10.
Oh,
These rolls are ridiculous.
yeah, the
They're-
rolls have been
They're all pretty low tonight.
pretty garbage.
Means we got some high ones coming. Woo-hoo!
We're not do combat today.
Do you have any memories of when you were dead?
There was lots of darkness. I remember a little bit of light. I remember waking up in the middle of a fire to a dragon.
So you remember nothing from falling in the cave to when you woke up surrounded by fire.
Well, I do presume I fell. I didn't know if I was making that memory up or not. I remember seeing the dragon, and then, well, that ended quite quickly, I must say.
Interesting.
I do think from my studies that my predicament is rather unusual, no?
Yes, very much so.
Well, I'm glad to still be here, I have to say.
Quentin, how does True Silver handle situations like this? You and Oz did pray over Marsland's body.
All we did was ask to bring him back. As to how she handles things on her side, that's not something I know anything about.
I didn't hear a response.
You don't always
That's
hear
what you're asking.
responses.
Wait, so that means that you do hear a response sometimes.
There's always a chance to hear a response. But clearly she responded by bringing Marsland back.
Bishop, have you ever been around anybody that has come back before? I know you have a bit of history with some things like this, no?
Not that I can recall. Nothing comes to mind.
Curious.
Why would a robot, why would a warforged know anything about coming back to life?
I don't know if you spend enough time around conflict, it's bound to happen here or there.
Do people just come back to life at random?
He could have crossed paths with somebody that has great powers. It doesn't hurt to ask.
No. I don't follow you.
You don't follow much, do you?
In my experience, most people who die stay dead.
Most, not all.
You are a prime example.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I was hoping for other examples. Does anybody I look around? Does anybody else have any examples of when they've come across something like this? You all look like you've seen a ghost.
Going to
Give him a
Naval of
poke.
them, you would be the only one that would know of things like this.
Bishop
Yeah.
goes to poke Marsland.
I do not consent to this.
If the gods allow it, we brought people back before at the church. If someone falls in combat, but it's usually up to the gods and the deeds of those people if they get to bring brought back or not.
Does your god like maps by any chance?
My god does not like maps. She's more
Interesting.
about family and bonds and healing.
That is a very strange question. Maps?
Yes, maps. Have I not talked to you about my maps? I am known for my maps. I make the best maps that you have ever seen. Perhaps this god liked maps and wanted me to continue to make maps. I think it is a valid question.
So you are saying that these deities think you are special.
I'm just putting things on the table, things that might be worth considering.
It's possible that you're going to do something in your future that they need you alive to do still.
Have we ruled out that the dragon may have brought you back?
The only explanation Jade gave us was that it was young and naive. I'm not sure a dragon could bring anyone back to life.
Unless the dragon wanted me as a snack, I don't think the dragon brought me back.
My knowledge on dragons is very low.
I've never heard of a resurrection dragon.
That'd be a unique type of dragon, wouldn't it?
It would. I would imagine it'd be quite.
It could eat you and then bring you back to life. The everlasting snack.
I think we figure out what's the first dragon we need to create on this dragon farm we're doing.
Oh gosh. Dragon genetic
that would
modification.
An evil dragon.
But what do you guys say to heading to the port and finding out about passage back? See if it falls in line with when
May
the
as
cure is
well.
supposed to be done.
It will need to go to Briarfork as soon as possible. If we get this cure, I would have to meet back up with you in the city.
Did this priest say how many doses that our ingredients would make?
2.
2.
Technically, he said he could make 2 with 1 egg, sap from the tree, and the mushrooms. He did not say how many mushrooms
Or how much sap.
or how much sap. Correct.
Hopefully you got plenty given the trials and tribulations it took to get that.
I would hope so.
with how little the sprites seem to want to just give away their food, I would imagine that a little bit goes a long way.
Well, they did also mention that second tree. It may not be in use.
If I remember right, it wasn't just the second tree, it was the first tree that was planted in the barium, borum.
That could be. But we don't know if the sprites were brought to the tree we were at or if they found it and made it their home. They
That
said
is
they
very
were
true.
protecting the tree, but they could just be protecting a food source.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
But at least we know there is sap at another location.
I'm going to look
Problem
between
is-
the two, between Marsland, Bishop. I was like, well, this is positively invigorating. I'm going to go to the dock. You guys continue conversations.
I think I will accompany you.
I will join you as well, Helga.
Okay, I guess my conversation was over. I get up and start walking.
You can continue. I'm just bored.
Talk and walk. Bishop, what are you going to do if they don't have a boat going to Briar Fork?
Briar's Fork is north of here through the mountains. If I have to travel, I will.
Do you think it would be faster to travel from here or to get a carriage from Canner's Keep? It only took us 3 days to get from Canner's Keep to here.
Yes, that is 3 more days back to Candor's Keep for another 3 days travel back to Briar Fork.
Maybe we can ask around town and see if there's a way through the mountains you could take. I just don't want you getting lost and delayed even longer because of the mountains being unmapped or anything.
I would agree.
Okay. You're all heading down to the dock?
Yep.
Okay.
We're off to see the wizard.
Okay. You head down to the dock, and there is a ship docked there. It's a little rougher than the ship you came in on. And you can see some crewmen working back and forth around it, and you can see a staunch dwarf with an eye patch and kind of longer dark black hair, kind of a yellow tunic on, kind of big hairy arms, is standing on the dock, and he's kind of directing traffic.
I believe that is the dock master.
That seems to be like what he's doing. So I'll walk up, talk to him.
Either that or the hairiest, smallest man I've ever seen in my life.
What do you say to him, Quentin?
Hi, we were looking for passage to Canner's Keep and Briar's Fork on 2 separate ships.
2 separate ships? Nope. Next ship won't be through here for a couple days. This is my ship, actually. Captain Grundar Goldmine.
Grendold Goldmine.
Grundar Goldmine. How'd you get Grendel? You got something in your ears?
I am just awful at names. That's why I shorten everybody's to something else.
Hey, Grundy.
Captain.
Yeah, we'll be leaving for too long, either tonight or tomorrow morning. Heading back to Candor's Keep.
Okay. And how many days was the voyage going to be?
Well, it was a lot easier when the sails were in full repair. But it takes about 4 days.
Okay. We have 4, possibly 5 passengers, depending on what gets decided today.
20 silver per person.
Wouldn't that just be 2 gold?
Yeah, but it's per person. I mean, that's just as good, right?
But yes, but okay.
Don't mind him. He likes to complicate everything.
But that doesn't
What's
seem
wrong?
like.
What's wrong with your sails?
Storms. Bad crew. You know, things like that.
If I can repair some of the seals. I'm just gonna walk away. If I can repair some of the sails, will that be of help?
It's pretty helpful, yeah. It might help us get there a little sooner.
Okay. Now, do you know? I know you're a shipmaster, but do you know a trail through the mountains towards Briar's Fork?
No. Nobody goes through the mountains from here. Why do you think they settled here? Cut off from everybody.
I'm going to turn to Bishop.
Would be the fastest way to Briarfork from here?
From here? Wait a month for one of the other ships to come through that go around through there. There's a couple. Other than that, head to Candor's Keep. Maybe, I think there's some travelers that head that way, time to time.
That makes me sad.
That's what I'd do. I'd either wait, take that. The easiest way, that's the best way.
Bishop, I think if you return to Candor's Keep with us, we can use the cure on Hugh to see how it affects him as well before you give it to Luna.
We will see.
But there's some time for deciding on that. Captain, you want to leave me some of your sails so I can try repairing them?
You want me to take my sails down so you can repair them?
I believe I can climb up a bit.
I must see this.
You want to climb up and
Helga.
repair them?
Do you know anything about seafair? Since, you know, were raised kind of on a ship?
You're talking
I'm
about
gonna look around. The ship that I'm familiar with does not journey on water.
Same principle.
Well, it doesn't journey very far then, does it? Leave the real captaining to the people who know the water.
Yes, you are completely correct. We didn't go very far at all. What kind of, if I may ask, kind of supply are you taking to Candor's Keep?
Cargo's just what they request. General farming things. There's some new farming equipment. What What else did we bring this time? Potatoes,
Anything
carrots.
perishable.
Definitely perishables, yeah.
Drat.
What are you getting at there, Oz? Or Helga?
I was getting at giving him money to take us to Briarfork.
Oh. You don't want to go on this boat to Briar Fork.
I'm sorry, Bishop.
Hey, I love my ship as much as the next captain. I'm just being honest with you.
How long did you say it was until the next ship came to port?
Probably a couple weeks.
Oof, that's not very good.
I guess Candlekeep or Candor's Keep is the only option.
I'm not a seafaring man, but you said the boat would not fare well on the open sea. I'm gathering that much, correct?
It has its difficulties, depending on the weather.
What if you were to hug the shoreline?
It would probably
get up
take
the
longer. Oh, you want me to hug the shoreline up to... You must have some time on your hands.
Time is not on
There
our
is-
side, actually.
There is a young lady who's in dire need of an elixir up in Briarfork that only we have, and we have been journeying far to try and get there.
Oh, if only ships could fly. Am I right?
Yes, that would be very convenient.
Awkward laugh.
But I believe Ishtab's blessing is coming through here probably next week. You could take them up there. Let's see. They're a little more on the pricey side, though. Trip up that way, you're probably looking at 30, maybe 40 gold per person for the whole trip.
How many days
say-
does it take to get from here to Briar's Fork on ship?
Probably a week.
Are there any alternative means of travel?
Walking. But I wouldn't do it.
That sounds unpleasant.
Basically, Hugh is the one that needs the cure first.
Oh, I'm going back to Cantor's Keep no matter what once we get the cure. I'm just inquiring about the fastest way to get you back to Briar's Fork to help Luna.
Doesn't seem like that's happening from this location.
I would agree. Maybe the guy you came into town with is still there.
That is a possibility.
But what time is it now?
You all hear like a strange trumpeting sound in the distance, and can see people kind of working their way towards the center of town.
I think it's time for his court hearing.
Jade must be up.
Captain, we'll be back later.
Anytime, I'll be here.
Thank you very much.
At least till this evening. Or tomorrow morning. One of those. Then I'll be gone.
I'll be back this evening, no matter what. And if you can wait till tomorrow, we'll be back in the morning after that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna start heading towards the puppet.
All right. You all heading up that way?
Yes.
Okay. Jade.
Yo.
The person watching over you comes in, opens the cell up, and binds your hands and feet in chains.
Is this necessary? I'm not going to run or hurt anybody.
We don't know that.
Very well.
Come this way. And they lead you out. And toward the center of town, there's a pretty wide opening there. And they set you up on a kind of a wooden platform. And you hear a horn blow and people begin to gather around. You can see your Oz and Bishop and Gwynton, everyone coming up from the dock area, kind of toward in the back of the crowd. A well-dressed older man with kind of a curly mustache and a wide-brimmed hat comes out. He kind of nods at you and puts a hand up in front of everybody, and everybody claps for him as another very large man, looks like a Goliath, comes out of one of the other buildings. He has to duck to get out of the door, bare-chested and holding a large two-headed axe. And he kind of throws it over his shoulder, and he walks up the stairs and stands beside you, kind of flipping it down with a thud onto the wood. And he just holds it there, looks over at you, and just one corner of his mouth just slightly comes up. The nicely dressed man looks over at you. Hello! I'm Mayor Gunderson, and I'll be judging and presiding over this hearing today. My people of Perrin's Folly, today we have here an admitted criminal responsible for starting the fire that almost took our town and fields. And everyone kind of breaks out in a cheer before a hushed silence. But we do not judge that way. We don't immediately just harm others who come into our town, unless they deserve it. So we will have a trial. Bring forth our first witness. You see a kind of ragged, grumpy man come out of the crowd and step up on the platform and face everyone. Freston Vesh, what say you? He looks over at Jade. I saw this guy. He come right out of the burning woods with a tall blue man. Walked right out. In fact, that tall blue man is right over there. And he points towards Marsland.
Marsland's like looking for other tall blue men.
Everyone just turns and looks at Marsland.
Hello.
You're a celebrity, Marsland.
Now, being that we were working on what we could take care of this fire, and the fact that both of them had just walked out of a burning flame, I asked him, do you know who started it? And he repeatedly avoided my question. Mayor Gunderson turns toward you, Jade. Well, Jade, explain yourself. This good, upstanding citizen sees you leave the burning forest. He had a question for you. Why didn't you answer truthfully at that time?
So what's more important? Your people's lives in this village, or who started the fire?
Who started the fire? We need to make sure that it didn't spread elsewhere.
So you don't care about your people.
I, of course, care about my people. That's why we need to know who started it.
But that could have waited. That's why I didn't say anything.
If all the...
It was not as important as saving your crops, your people, your livelihoods.
If all the mouse traps are set off, do you care about the mouse traps and the cheese, or the rat taking the food?
I said I started it with my dragon. I wanted to my concern was more about your people and your livelihood. I never denied it. I just didn't want to answer it because then that would cause more panic. And then they would take all their focus off of saving your town.
Oh, we couldn't have done that. The whole town would have burned down. But we could have helped contain it, make sure it didn't get any worse or get started somewhere else. Now we have a question of the blue man. And everyone turns back toward Marsland.
Hey,
How much did he know?
About the fire?
Did he know who started it?
Yes.
You hear, like, mumbling course through the crowd as some of the guardsmen of the town kind of surround behind the party, specifically behind Marsland.
oh no.
That'll be enough, Freston. And Freston looks back at Jade and looks over at Marsland and walks down the steps. Our next witnesses, please come forward. You see two humanoids come up, followed by a centaur that you know well as Heron from the inn. The night of the fire, what did you encounter as the fires were burning? Heron steps up. Well, I saw these two, that tall, drink-of-water blue man and Jade here. They came into my inn. Jade ordered some food and sat down and enjoyed a meal. That's what I saw. And the other two that are with him begin shaking their head in agreement. Jade, you say the fire was more important, but you got a room and some food?
Marsland and I hadn't eaten for over 2 days. We just needed some energy to be able to help build the water carts. So we just got a quick bite to eat.
You didn't know about those water carts until after you asked.
That is correct. I apologize. I got my timing wrong on that. But
So-
we had been trekking through the woods and the forest for a couple days, and we were sorely hungry.
But did you not say the fire was more important? That's why you dodged Preston's questions.
Saving your people were more than important.
But not before at filling your belly. That's what's important.
Give us energy to see what we could do to help.
I see.
Wisest choice? Perhaps not. now that you look at it in hindsight, but we were very, very hungry.
And he turns to the crowd and puts both hands up in the air. Perhaps not! And everybody just mumbles through the crowd.
Rebel, 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 rebel.
The mayor turns toward Heron. Thank you, good sir. You provide a great service to this great town. And he nods. They will walk down. We have more important questions. Guards, bring the blue man they call Marsland to the stand. And you feel a shove to you feel a bit of a shove to the back, and you just kind of put your hands up for a second and walk forward willingly.
Bishop shifts, noticeably disturbed about this.
Okay.
That's putting up a fight.
They lead you up onto the stand. Marsland, is that correct?
That is correct. It is a family name.
It is Marsland, a visitor to our town.
This is also correct.
Marsland, you traveled with this Jade. Am I correct?
You are technically correct, yes.
Now it has come to our attention that he can bring forth a dragon when he wants. Is that correct?
It was a great surprise to me, but comes to find out, yes, this is actually a fact.
It was a surprise! And he holds up his hands again, and the rabble just goes through the crowd.
When I initially set out with him, I did not know that he could conjure a dragon. It is quite a trick, I must say. I've read about it in books a few times, and I didn't think I would actually come across somebody in person. You know, you read about so much in books. Do you have a library in town here?
We do, but that is not the question.
Oh, okay, sorry. I got distracted.
Marsden, you had the opportunity to speak up on Jade's behalf and come clean with the truth. Did you attempt to do so?
I was not directly asked. It is not my place to speak other people's truths. I did urge Jade to come clean, but like I said, it is not my place to speak somebody else's truth.
And the mayor looks down at Preston, and Preston just shrugs his shoulder and shakes his head. He didn't ask him. I see. And he motions for you to stand over by Jade.
I'll go stand over by Jade.
Sorry I got you into this, Marsland.
Well, it is what it is, and we are here now. We will be honest and truthful, as that is respected here, I get the sense.
Agreed.
We have one more witness that worked with these two. I call Yarny Gast to the stage. And Yarny comes up, the blacksmith of town. Yarny, do you know these two? Yes. They helped us build the water bucket. They helped us build the water bucket! Everybody rabbles around. Yarny, you said at some point Jade left. Were you aware of where Jade was going? I was not. Jade, where were you going after working so hard on the bucket?
I was thoroughly exhausted, and I could not hardly lift another log. So I went to check on my dragon in the forest where I left him to make sure that he was okay. and I had to lay down and get just a little bit of a sleep, just so I could get enough energy to continue with the fight of the fire.
He left his dragon unattended! And everyone rabbles around. Yarny, what about Marslin? Marslin helped finish the bucket to its completion, and then traveled with it, and dug trenches. A lot of trenches. I see. An honorable thing, fighting the fire. He motions for Yarny to return down. These two stand before you. I have decided. Marslin is at no fault. Though maybe could have been more vocal. He did not cause the fire and actively fought against it. You are not on trial here today. And he motions for you to stand to the other side.
Over here?
Yes. Over here!
We'll stand over there.
And then he looks down at Bishop, Quentin, and Oz. Outsiders, please approach the pedestal.
I'll move up.
I'll step forward.
Yep.
The four of you will assist in this decision of justice. And he points at you, Bishop. Large metal one, what do you call yourself?
I am designated Bishop.
Bishop! I ask you, is your friend guilty or innocent?
That is a difficult question. Is he guilty of being reckless with something he had no experience with? Yes. Is he guilty of avoiding questions asked by the villagers? Yes. I do believe justice needs to be served, but it depends on what justice you are dishing out. Mistakes have been made. I find that he is owning up now to show that he is something of an honorable. He could have lied the entire time, and he didn't.
We have his answer. The dwarf. What do you go by?
I'm Gwenton.
It is Quentin! Quentin! Is Jade guilty of starting a forest fire that almost took the town?
From the evidence that we have heard, he is guilty for starting the forest fire. But I'm glad he owned up to try to fight the forest fire as well.
Another guilty! And you hear the crowd again getting more tense, and they're all on the edge, watching intently. Young lady, what do you call yourself?
I am called Helga.
Oh, but that's different. It is Helga! Jade fire! Or Jade! Is Jade guilty of starting a forest fire that almost took the town?
He is guilty of being an idiot.
Oof.
What sort of punishment do you exude on a small child if he starts a fire and it gets out of control?
And you see a bunch of mumbling run through the crowd.
There is a reason for this question, because he is foolish and does not think through his decisions. So yes, he is guilty. As guilty as anybody who makes errors in judgment, as a child would make errors in judgment. He has a new toy, if you would, if one could call summoning a dragon a toy, and did not use good judgment when utilizing said toy. I will say one thing for his character. The reason why he was so tired was because he drug that blue man over there, yes, that very one, as tall as he is, out of the depths of the forest by himself, and brought himself to exhaustion near to the point of death, and still tried to fight this fire.
And it's quiet, and he looks down at you. And I heard another guilty!
Oh, jeez.
And Marslin, last but not least, companion to all, outsiders to the town of Perrin's Folly. Is Jade guilty of starting a fire that almost wiped out the town?
Well, I must agree with the previous assessment that technically, if we were to go by the facts, then yes, he did start the fire. But
Facts are all that matters, guilty!
intention is important to take into consideration.
As mayor of this town, and by the admission of those here, the peers of Jade, I declare Jade is guilty. And you hear the crowd just kind of roars up. I ask the peers, what is the proper punishment for one who is guilty of such wanton destruction? It'll take years to recover from this.
I would start off with a
us, or
fine.
you
Asking you
us?
for. Yep.
Yep. He needs to pay for the damages he's done.
How does one pay for damage to nature?
Community service.
Sylvanus be praised.
I would agree with Quentin. The punishment should fit the crime.
He wants to set him on fire.
Not what I said.
You hear, as you said, not what I said, the crowd's, aww.
If it was his doing that ruined crops and nature, then a community service of replanting trees, helping this village with crops.
And Dwarf, what say you?
That's what I said.
Okay. Helga, the beautiful Helga. What
Thank
say
you.
you?
Would you trust a child to rebuild to a similar devastation?
Absolutely not.
And with that, I say a banishment and a fine.
The mayor stands for a moment. The peers have spoken, and a punishment has been accepted. Death to all who oppose the decision.
Oh, God, you son of a gun.
Someone please call an ambulance for Rob.
Dying a little bit on the inside every breath you take.
From henceforth, Jade, your actions will be forever remembered in Perrin's Folly. I decree that you all will be branded by hot iron as a mark that you are never allowed into Perrin's Folly ever again.
With all of us?
All of you.
They had nothing to do with it.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. I did not set the fire. I fought the fire.
One bad apple in a group spoils the bunch.
I disagree.
Where do you draw the line of the group? Are we not all a group right now?
The outsiders.
I was ready to abandon him. Does that count?
Bring forth the brand.
Sorry, Jade.
But why should they get branded? They had nothing to do with it.
Yes, Jade. Why should we get branded?
Punish me, but please don't punish them.
Duroc. He wants option 2. And the Goliath picks up the axe and throws it up on his shoulder.
What is option 2?
Yes,
Death!
Then so be it. I will not have these people in my group branded for something that I started. It is not fair.
The dragon is dead. Is that not enough of a death?
Jade.
Yes.
Do you have the ability to summon your dragon right now?
Do you want me to?
Yes.
Are you going to kill him?
He just looks at you.
I mean,
I'll
technically,
summon him if
he just
I have your
answered your
word.
question.
The dragon must not be dead if he can bring it back.
So what you want me to do?
As a group, choose branding and banishment or the ultimate punishment.
You will not brand me. I will get what I came here for, and I will never come back.
Don't know if you can brand that one anyway. I don't know how that would work.
After the branding, you will have until the night of the next day to leave Perrin's Folly and never return.
I can promise I'll never return as long as this cure works.
What is the punishment if we do return?
Option 2.
Look over at the axe.
I do not see why your branding is necessary.
I'm not getting branded.
I would imagine with all the ruckus that's going on, you will not forget our faces if we ever were to return.
I have had enough of this. And I start heading towards the temple.
The guards walk up onto the platform to block your way.
When
You
did we get
must
up on the
choose.
platform?
I told you you walked up on the platform. Maybe I didn't.
Yes, you said we approached them.
Either way, the guards are noticeably alert. You must choose.
I will take the branding, but they do not need the branding.
And why would we brand just you and not all
Because
the
I'm one that
outsiders?
started the fire, but I started the fire. Let them go in peace. They will not come back.
What
You're darn
guarantee
right.
do we have?
Do what, Mayor?
What guarantee that they will not come back?
Well,
None
with
of
the way
you.
they've been treated, I'm pretty sure they are not going to want to come back.
Been treated?
We haven't been treated bad at all. We haven't done anything. But
They're wanting to brand you. That is not being treated nice.
they want
For
to
something
brand
that you
us
did not do.
because you fucked up with your dragon. I do not accept that everyone needs to be punished for the actions of one, but I also understand that everyone's responsible at the same time. I have no interest in coming back here once this cure is done.
I am guilty of allowing this furball to join us. That is all.
All of you make a persuasion check.
This is going to be fantastic. Not 11.
I'm not
17.
persuasive.
I get +0.
20.
17.
But I also believe he should not get killed because how can he send money back to his village if he gets killed? You will need money to help plant new trees and plant new crops.
Our laws here replenish nature. Death, the blood of the soil, will help the new trees grow.
I think his death don't be enough for a single tree. And based on the amount of trees that got burned, that is not enough.
But
Fortunately, I do not follow these deities. But I do
should set order.
follow the law. If your laws call for his death for what this has happened, his cause in this, then that is your choice. I will not be branded over somebody else's mistake. Your law says banishment and branding or death. I will not die for his cause.
I see your feelings toward each other, toward the situation. People of Baron's Folly, I have decided! Jade shall be branded for all to see. The rest of you, all of you, are banished and to be gone by the tomorrow's evening.
This sounds fun and reasonable.
At my word, we'll be gone.
You see kind of a robed figure walk up on stage, and they have a large iron rod, and they wave their hand over it, and you see it just start turning red and glowing. He shall be branded! And they just takes it and just shoves it right into your neck, Jade.
Oh.
I scream out in pain, crumple to the ground.
What's the branding look like?
You take 13 points of fire damage. It's like a circle with a P and an F for Parents' Folly. Nothing super fancy. It looks like a cattle brand. The rest of you smell and you can hear the sizzle of the flesh as you see Jade cry out. You can smell the burnt hair, and you can see just this black ring on his neck. The rest of you, we will release him into your care. Any problems that happen from here until the morrow, you will all be held responsible equally. And they take his bindings off. People of Parents' Folly, have a fantastic day. And everybody just cheers and claps and disperses about their business.
I suggest we take him to the ship.
What do y'all want to do? You're basically, it's dispersing. You're still all standing there.
We need to find out if the ship even leaves tonight, but we also need to hit the priest up, see if he's done with that cure yet. I think for that time, you better if we all travel together. And I'll make sure to give Jade back all of his items. Jade, I do appreciate you bringing Marsland back here safely, and I'm glad that you guys are both alive. But please, think things through. You made 2 huge mistakes back to back.
And so I did. And I am deeply in your debt. And I am very sorry for what has transpired, guys. I will do my best to prove to you that I'm worthy to be with you in your group. And I want to fit in.
Not so sure about that. And I start walking off.
The actions you've taken have delayed both me and Bishop from getting back to the people who need to have the disease. I don't know how Luna's doing, but last I saw Hugh, he was not doing good. Because of this, we're now delayed 2 days? 3 days, maybe? If he's in worse condition when I get there because of this, I'm not going to be happy with you. And then I'm going to head up towards the church.
Okay. Helga, Marsland, you're still there with Jade?
Don't do anything stupid. I want to leave this town. I'll turn
You
around.
said we had a boat secured?
It's at the dock. As I'm walking away.
Marson,
Okay,
you're there
now.
with Jade?
Do appreciate that you were, at least on the surface, willing to die instead of us getting branded, but that still does not make up for reckless action.
It will take a long time to make up for the things I've done. But I hope someday I can prove that I'm a worthy friend.
I am proud that you did eventually own up. See how much better it would have been if you had just owned it at the beginning, though. Half of that trial was them examining why you did not take ownership of it right from the start.
Correct. I learned some valuable lessons. And I appreciate your honesty. Unless I'm needed elsewhere, I might just go to the ship and just kind of disappear and wait on you so that way nothing happens between now and tonight or tomorrow morning.
Well,
Would that be fine?
let's go see the ship. I think we are more welcome there than we are in this town at this point.
Very well. We'll start heading to the dock.
Okay. So Marslin and Jade are going to the ship?
Yep.
Okay. The rest of you, where are you headed?
To the priest. Do.
All right. You head down the street, then people have gone about their business again. They kind of look at you, and Bishop, some of them come up and just kind of slap your metal casing just because it makes a sound. The rain continues to pour down, and you approach the temple and slide open the door. You push it open the door and enter in, and that's where we're going to end tonight.
What?
We walk into the priest having the boy who apparently was cured upside down with his blood draining into the cure.
That's dark.
This is what I'm expecting right now. We don't know nothing about
There's
this
only
priest.
one. We have to share the blood. It's good to be back. To find out what happens next, you're gonna have to tune in to next week. All the exciting.
Wait, we're playing 2 weeks in a row now?
Yeah. Well, it's for right now. Yeah. Until Midland. So. And if you missed the first part of the show, Midland Mall Comic Con, there it is again, March 4th and 5th in Midland, Michigan. Stop by. We are going to have the signups up tonight. So put your name down and tell us what time so we can fill it out on the sheet and we'll update the stuff as possible. You're going to want to sign up early as possible. We have fewer sessions because the sessions are longer this year. There's 2 different kinds. So we've got that all on the sheet so you can pick which one or both if people permit. And then we have a giveaway both days too. So, and you don't want to miss Midland Mall. I mean, Banter and Battle's going to be there. We can hit their shout out in the thing. I think it's BNB, exclamation point BNB. Half-ass booth review, I believe is going to be there. Yeah, see, there we go. I got him. Dougal's going to fly over from across the pond and join us. I'm sure of it. Yeah, Cherry's going to be there. I hope to see all of you sit at one of our tables. Like I said, no experience required. You can have never played before. Feel free to stop by, sit at the table, and we will teach you everything you need to know for that hour and a half. We'll be around for chatting about D&D and things, and there'll be vendors all around us that we'll be working with. So we're pretty excited about that. Kids are able to play, but if you do bring a kid to the table, you do have to stay with them, and they have to be able to read, of course, and that kind of stuff. Understand what's going on. So no leaving your kids unattended. Right, Mike?
Nope. I am not your babysitter.
Neither am I. So, yeah. So, hopefully we see you all then. Let's see, what else do we got? Again, we just want to throw it out there. The Christmas shirt, if you wanted to get that, it'll be coming down the 1st of February. So you don't want to miss that opportunity as we come up with new things. We're going to try to keep it fresh, freaky fresh, you know? God, so much has happened in this thing. So much. That was fun. For some of us. Rob's
something I thought about when you
Rob's
were
over there with a towel, like wiping off his face.
I was sweating there for a minute.
So you need there we go, Mike. Jerry's asking a St. Patty's Day one, shirt design.
I'll have to see.
It's a bunch of them passed out at a table.
Bishop just standing over him.
All of
Bishop
us with
has
little
a
green
green hat
hats and
dumping
looking
the
like-
beer out because he doesn't know what to do with it.
We all have green hats and we're trying to imitate leprechauns.
Dougal
the
says
closest.
we would have rioted if Jade had been killed. Hey, a lot of choices. I tell the guys
Jerry
one of the things that I'm trying to weave into this campaign more is those very difficult moral choices that folks have to make.
That was tense.
The tough decisions. It makes it even more because there's what you want to do as a person and then like what your character would actually do. So
It also sucks because we're so early in the campaign. We don't really have bonds with anybody, so we're like,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
it's very early, very early. Cherry's writing because he didn't get killed. I'm making y'all's house. Oh, okay, that's fine.
The price of eggs, you ain't gonna buy many.
Right. Is this required for you? I don't even know where Blanco's at or what he's going at. But we thank you all for coming out. We appreciate you. Oh, I think we lost a follower. We were 4 away, and now we're back to 5 away.
Oh.
Well, dang it! Somebody actively went and said, "I don't want to follow these guys." Well, that's unfortunate. We like them anyways, or maybe just the counts messed up. I don't know. Probably not. 5 people away from 200, and then we'll do a giveaway of some sort. Thank you all for coming out. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your engagement with the story. A lot more to come. But until next time, we'll see you in the dungeon. Take care.
The end is upon us, I promise you novices don't want no problem with me. So watch how you talking and where you been walking, they call me the BBEG. I'm more than a little OP, I do what I want to, that's a mantra. Keep 'em running and gunning like Contra, I'm a monster. The end is upon us, I promise you novices don't want no problem with me. So watch how you talking and where you been walking, they call me the BBEG. I'm more than a little OP, I do what I want to, yeah that's a mantra. I keep 'em running and gunning like Contra, y'all I'm a monster. Turn it up. What you know about the final boss? I got him trying to buy time with the sign of the cross. I redefine high crime and the meaning of loss. I'm off hip, but I body like I'm playing lacrosse. B to the EG, I'm keeping them queasy. I make it seem easy, acknowledge me. I've been demolishing your cities, I'm astonishingly sleazy. I'm the big bad, y'all must be the cast. I'm killing the master, villain, a blast, a disaster. Really a rap bastard, within the rap fast for the masses. I ravage all races and classes. Savage, I can't stop myself. Thinking of all the ways I can top myself. On God, I can move like a devil. I hope you and your squad are ready for the last level that ends here. The end is upon us, I promise you novices don't want no problem with me. So watch how you talking and where you been walking, they call me the BBEG. I'm more than a little OP, I do what I want to, that's a mantra. Keep it running and gunning like Contra, I'm a monster. The end is upon us, I promise you novices don't want no problem with me. So watch how you talking and where you been